I saw this design a few months ago where the frosted white comes over the glitter. Usually we keep glitter on top so you can see it, but this was stunning. How do they do it? Well, this is my rendition. I love this design. I've always wanted to share it with you. Let's get started. So Kiara Sky sent me a bunch of glitters and there was one that caught my eye, this one. I thought it'd be perfect for this design. You can do it with any color. I just particularly like it with this kind of frosted crystal look. Get me glasses. So I just got back from Kauai in a family vacation for a wedding and I bought this beautiful towel underneath. And it was just, and this new dress. That was really pretty. So that's my set design for today. So I'm using a bunch of different products today. I'm not mixing monomers and powders. I like to stay with the core system, but I am mixing the glitter as in putting it on top, as you can see. And you can do that, there's no biggie. So these forms, I've never used these forms before. They're from Magnetic for any professional who'd like to get some. And I'm just gonna put on me form. Now, forming is quite an art within itself. I have a lot of videos on forming, so I won't get into too much detail today. This particular design is all about layering. And if you mix the layers up or if you do it reverse, it doesn't look as good. And I'll show you why. Now, when I'm putting the form on, I do like a pinched look, but I don't want to pinch it. So I pinch the form. Somebody was asking me about that the other day. And I'm going to do them long. You know how I'm wearing my short nails? Well, I'm going to do them long today. Okay, so I need my brush. It's my new kit if anyone's interested, nailcareer.com. My first layer, because of that final look that you see, you have to have the glitter underneath. So we're going to put the glitter on first, and the white will go over top. I want these quite long, and this particular form is numbered all the way up to, my goodness, 14. I ain't going that long. I think I'm gonna go to, we're gonna go crazy. Let's go 6, okay? So 6 is right here, and that's where I'm gonna start my first little bead. That's where I'm gonna start the glitter. So I just need a little bead just to have my reference point. I'm gonna go into the clear a little bit, and then I'm gonna go right into the glitter and pick it up. And I'm gonna lay that first bead right at the 6. And that is going to be where the tip of my nail, the finished result of the nail is going to be right there. And I'm going to keep working backward. I don't need a lot of acrylic here. I want this to be a very, very low, thin profile. A little more clear, a little more glitter. Then I'm gathering the glitter, and then I'm going to keep going up the nail. Ultimately, you want nails, your fake nails, to be rather thin. So even though you've got lots of stuff going on in there, the more stuff you got going on, the thinner each layer needs to be, because we don't want to make the nail thicker. It still has to maintain that thickness or thinness, and all the design has to be inside of that. So I'm going to keep adding more glitter. Okay, so I have a lot of glitter in there. It's looking really good. I like that. So this is where the frosted look comes in. Something I didn't try, I was just thinking now, it is so thin. Maybe I'll try to do this. I'm going to put a thin layer of clear, thin, right in the heart of this part right here. Because I want to give a little depth between the white that I'm going to put over top to sort of create that depth that you're looking down into the crystal. But I'm only going to put it right here because the white's going to fade out toward the tip of the nail, and I'm not going to have white over top of that part. I recommend you put a thin bead of clear. Thin, 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 thin. I cannot stress enough. It's like a thin layer of nail polish. I'm going to put that bead right in there, as thin as I can, but just enough to create a layer on the nail plate, on the natural nail plate, so that when I'm filing this off in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I'm filing down to the clear layer, not the natural nail bed. That's going to make it comfortable for you and your client. Okay? I see some sparkles are escaping from my brush. I would like to say I'm one of those organized nail technicians that I have one brush for glitters and sparkles and one brush for plain, but I am not that organized. Okay, so now we're going to put the thin layer of white on top. I'm going to switch the color out here. Now this is a white that's a bit of a softer white. It's not a super, super strong competition white that you use for the smile lines. This is a bit of a softer. And yes, it does make a difference. We're going to do a bead right near the cuticle. And this is a tough one too, because cuticles are meant to be very, very thin, but we want to do this bead a little bit thicker because we want the intensity of white at the cuticle for this particular bead. So now this is where the white is going to get feathered over top of that design. But I will tell you, don't bring it down too far because you could bring it down to cover all of your design. We want it to look like just a frosted fading of the white. So like an ombre in reverse. Now you can fix the cuticle area, you can fix your apex, all that later. Right now, I really want to focus on how far am I bringing down this white. See how I'm feathering that white out? And I'm going to bring it about halfway down, probably about the number 2 or the 3. You can't see it, so I'm just giving you an estimation of where we're looking. Okay, so as you can see, I was so focused on trying to get the cuticle and then feathering it before it was curing too fast. I did flood the cuticle, and it's really a hard side for me. I should be doing, when I do nails, I'm doing it like this myself, and I don't have to watch my head for the camera. So I did flood the cuticle a little bit on that side. Fortunately, I have drill bits that can file that out. But I do want the product to get down over there because I want it to be a nice solid white. So it's solid white around the cuticle and it's feathering out over top. So if I look sideways, I don't know if you can show this, cameraman, but if I show the upper camera here, if I show it sideways, you see how thin that is? Very, very thin still. That is key. That's what I want. Now, because these nails are longer, there's a bit more of an arch that's needed. So I'm going to bulk that up and get the apex, get the arch, bump as some call it, where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to add more white for that arch, and I do want it to be more solid. Having said that, I do want to bring it over to the sides, and I want to feather this out. Do not want to bring it too far down here. Now I can do a lot of my apex as well with the clear that I'm going to cap over top of this. But I want the white to look thicker, and you could see that it was not looking very good. It was kind of looking sort of thin. So I'm going to now bring the white down over top, and I'm going to feather it over this sparkle even more. What I'm trying to do is make sure I have the intensity of the white that is covering the end of the nail and all the natural nail. I don't want to see any of that. Make sure, but I'm needing it to fade off right away because I want to expose the beautiful color underneath, the glitter. But there is a midway point as the white feathers off that is causing that cloudiness over top of the glitters that I do want to see that effect. So that's why long really does work for this design. Okay, so if you examine this nail, I can see a patch sticking through. Me hate that. So I've got to take a bead of white and I've got to make sure that that is covered. So I need it to be solid near the cuticle, but I need it to be feathering out as the free edge begins. And that's what I did. I actually feathered it too soon. So I need to be a little more solid with it, coming right off the side there. And I can't really feather it until I leave that edge. So I have to get some white product in there and fill it in. And it's hard for me to see there, but I hope you can see that. See that? I needed to make sure that was covered. Even still, I'm a little bit, I want it to be a little more solid. With that now I'm going to switch it over here, and if you can see, there's one spot right there. I can see the natural nail poking through. I need a tiny little white bead in a solid fashion to get right in there. See that? I'm going to press it in. This is where product control is very, very helpful to being able to fill in and create and blend. Without product control, this would be very difficult. So you can see I'm blending it in, covering what I hated, and I'm feathering it out as quickly as possible. I'm just trying to make my white here all one tone. And get a nice white even tone. See how beautiful that is? Me happy. You can see how much goes into just a very seemingly simple design. Now I'm looking right near the cuticle. I don't know if you guys can see that, being quite picky. There is a little gap, depth, pothole, and me no like it. So I am going to take the tiniest bead, like on the top of the pin, and I am going to pop a little white right in there to cover that little pothole. See that? Beauty. Gone. Okay. I haven't done many of these at all. I have always admired it. And now I'm getting a chance to do it. So now I want to clear cap it. This is optional. You can file the white directly. I like to clear cap because I like to encase the design. If I start filing the white, I'm going to file some of the white away, and it might actually change the aesthetic value of the intensity of the white. So I'm going to clear cap it to make sure that everything I have in there. The only thing is, you better make sure that everything you like is the way you like it, because you can't change it after you clear cap it. It's in there. You can't file any of the white away. So I am trying to decide that right now. Do I need to be any more? I think I'm going to have to trust myself, and I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to bring my clear back. So here we go. We're going to do a full, nice, clear bead. I'm going to place that bad boy on there. And I'm just going to cover my whole design and encase the whole thing. This is actually where you want the thickest bead, because it is the structured layer. It's not compromised by any color or glitters or anything in it. This is your strength layer. Okay, now I have covered it right to the end. So I have clear capped it right to the end. Oh, I think that's gonna be gorgeous. What we have here is you're working from the bottom up. I'm going to show you with a tip here if you were to work the other way. Now on top of this tip, if I just want to show you how different it looks. And just by reversing the layer, you have a completely different look. So I'm just placing the white bead down here. So I'm starting with the white bead first. And I'm going to feather it right down. I'm just softly feathering that white. It's basically ombreing it, you might say. Now you do have to let it dry a little bit. So if this white, this feathered white, is still a little uncured, you could still put the glitter in there. But I think I've talked enough that it's not. So I'm taking a clear, tiny clear bead, again, getting my glitter, and I'm going to pop it in the end. And I'm going to make sure that tip of the frosted edge is full of glitter, and I'm going to work backwards. This is basically a glitter fade on a frosted white fade. So see how I'm doing this? I can go this way, right? Beautiful. It's beautiful, right? Okay, so let's set that aside. And I'm going to now file up this nail and show you the difference of how a reverse, putting the glitter on top of it or putting the glitter underneath, gives a totally different effect. So this seems to be cured enough. Okay, so you need a good set of files. Fortunately, I have some. So I'm going to file this up and compare the two different looks. Remember, I didn't like that cuticle. Just making it nice and happy now. Okay. That didn't take much, eh? So I'm going to top coat this because I want to learn from what I've done, how I can improve it or see what I like. So I put a top coat on it. And remember that nail that I did? By reversing the layers, how different, and it's beautiful too, don't get me wrong. Okay, so this is the difference between putting the white over top of the glitter or the glitter over top of the white. Two very different looks with the same kind of idea. You can see it's very subtle. Now, I'm going to pick my work apart here, and I'm going to be honest and say, I like it, but I think I carried the white frosted down a little too far. I'd like to see a little bit more of that glitter. If I put the glitter on top of the mistake here, it's going to look very different. If I'm going to correct this, I'm going to file right through the white, put the glitter underneath again, and then put the white on top of it less. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the nails, and I'm going to do a little less white and a little more glitter, okay? Great question I had from one of my viewers. Shanda says, I think I pronounced her name right. She asks, how do you do someone's nails when they are tensing up all the time? That's a tough one. Clients are, they're actually trying to help you, in my opinion. They are trying to tense up because they can see what you're doing. You know how you kind of try to tense up and you're trying to move your body when you're trying to help somebody do something? That's what they're doing. And it's most annoying. It comes from a good place, but it's all wrong. We don't want them to do that. So most nail technicians, a lot of nail technicians will just kind of say to them, don't tense up, relax your hand. Well, that just makes people tense up even more. Remember I was saying I put the clear down? I'm going to put a bead of clear. I'm going to show you that. See how that clear just melts in there? You can do that, right? And then if you have this when it's not quite cured, just pick up your glitter, your free glitter that's just loose glitter, and you can just tap it in. That works too. Ever method works for you. So Shanda, what I would do is I would talk about something relaxing with the client. That's what I would do. And I wouldn't really bring out that they're really being tense because it just makes them more tense. So I just kind of talk about things that are relaxing and eventually they'll relax. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and get to the top coat because that's the exciting part. Now I'm just going to top coat them on so we can see the beautiful glitter come to life. Getting rid of all of the dust. Okay, so now I'm going to put the top coat on. How beautiful. Okay, I'm going to finish this thumb. I'm just going to cure it under this light. Let's take a look at the reveal shots. Those turned out absolutely stunning. I'll move them a little bit and put my hand underneath and see if you can see the glitter kind of dance under there. So one thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so you take that picture into your salon, your nail technician, and you ask them if they could do it. Remember when you go in and talk to your nail technician, they are artists and they are trained in certain aspects of nails, not every aspect. It's like walking into an art store and you walk into a beautiful artist studio and they're expert in watercolor and the walls are littered with watercolor. And then you ask them if they could do an oil. It's not their expertise. So when you go into a nail salon and you take a picture of something like this, that nail technician may be very skilled, but they may not be skilled in doing this particular design. This is all art, so give your nail technician and yourself some time to learn how to create beautiful nails. It takes time, you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you guys in the next video.